Okay. So thanks. So I'm sharing my screen. Can someone confirm if you are able to see my screen?
Yes.
All right. So we are going to start with. Let me just I think some people have joined. Did miss the last session. I'll just quickly explain what we are going to cover. Okay. So these are the topics that we are going to cover, and today we are going to start with KPI reporting. Okay, KPI reporting, and then we will also see, if time allows, we will also see quality dashboard. Okay, resource utilization and team productivity. This we'll cover in our next session. Okay, now these topics are important from an MIS perspective. Like someone want to get into the MIS profile. I mean, and it is also a foundation for analytics. You first need to understand the basics of analytics, how you can help business in measuring the KPIs, the key performance indicator. That really helps. That is how I have learned, and I think it is useful to cover these topics. Yeah, will not spend much time on this. Okay, now let's first understand the data. Okay, so this is an operational data. There are four team members in an operation team. They are basically managing an invoice processing. Okay, invoice processing for four teams. Okay, that is Amazon, DMart, Big Bazaar, and GeoMart. GeoMart. Okay, so this is the data. Uh, so basically, on daily basis, they need to process the invoice. There are various steps involved in processing the invoice. Like could be any steps like processing, indexing, then line item processing, and all those. Now, to measure the performance, okay, of the uh, team, and to measure the performance of the overall business, the business has to define key performance indicator. Okay, it is not possible to go each and every line item and they will check whether it was done correctly. That is not the right way to do. So basically, in a faster way, if business has to measure the performance, they have to define certain key performance indicator. Based on that, they can basically gauge how the performance is, whether it's on track or whether there is an improvement required and all those things. Now, I have created a sample. So this is all data from sample superstore data. I have just tweaked the data to make it more compatible for the KPI reporting. But this is a sample data. But yeah, this is going to be a real-time example. I mean, this is how the KPI reporting is done. It You can basically relate this. This is going to be the what do you say the real use case, I would say. Okay. Now let's say we have three important KPIs. Okay. The first KPI is invoice processed in 5 days. Okay. Now it is very important for business that the invoice that has come in has to be processed in 5 days. That is the first KPI. Okay, and the target is 90%. What means is the 90% of the invoices should get processed within 5 days. The second KPI is invoice value greater than 500 processed in 3 days. Like these are the high value invoice, and this has to be prioritized over other invoice, and this has to be processed in 3 days. This is a random target. I have given 25%. And the third KPI is invoice with profit greater than 40%. Okay, so basically this is related to the margin. uh, Ideally, there should be invoices with the profit margin greater than 40% and the target is 30%. Okay, now we need to find the score, monthly score and an overall score for this. Anyone has any question on the KPI? Does it like this is how? So this is a sample KPI I have taken. I mean, in real scenario, there could be different KPIs business on the depend upon the nature of the business. For call center, there will be a call center related KPIs. For supply chain, there will be supply chain related KPIs. Basically, Yeah, there is a lot of strategy goes into defining the KPI. I mean, you need to brainstorm, come up with the KPI which will basically measure the overall performance. The KPI should be strong. Okay. Any questions?
Uh, Piyush, invoice process you mean here is like order is closed or what exactly it does
Yeah.
mean?
So this is the random KPI I have taken. Process means yeah, order is closed and everything.
Okay.
Just assume yeah,
Right from receive until it
right.
delivered, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
You can assume that. So the overall processed completed should be 5 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Uh, okay. Now let's first understand the data. Okay, we have now the for first KPI. What we need is the actual date on which the invoice came in the system and on date which it got processed. Okay, so we have here invoice date and process date. It's just a dummy field I have created. Now we need to find the difference. Okay, very first thing we'll do is find the difference. We'll create an additional column here, processing days, uh, equal to this minus this. What will be? एक minute. Okay, it will be process days minus invoice. Okay. Now this is giving me how many days the invoice is getting processed. I'll just simply drag this formula.
Hmm.
Okay. Now this is giving me the processing days. Now for my first KPI, I need to find out invoice processed in 5 days. I need to find out which are the invoices got processed in 5 days, less than or equal to 5 days. I will have to write a formula. Now if you notice for Amazon and DMart, it's same, but for Big Bazaar and GeoMart, KPIs are different. Here
Okay.
the first KPI is invoice processed in three
Three
days.
days.
That again it depend upon the business nature. How want to
Hmm.
measure the performance, what are the criteria and everything. That business has to decide. Now we'll write a formula. Now we will see, whatever we have learned in the last training program, you need to apply now. So you were till now focusing on learning Excel. Now the assumption is you have learned Excel. Now you are applying your Excel knowledge. Okay. Now let's create a, say KPI one equal to if now for Amazon and one minute, Amazon and DMart, um, the the KPI is same. Currently focusing only on the first KPI. Okay, equal to if and this is equal to Amazon and my processing days is less than equal to 5. Okay. Then I would say yes. Else if and DMart and processing days is less than equal to 5. Then yes. Else if and a big bazaar है ना, yeah, big bazaar big there, and I'll not go there. I'll just simply copy it from here. P, then the fourth condition क्या है? Geo मार्ट है क्या last? हाँ, if and this is equal to Geo mart, and yeah, for Geo mart the criteria is 3 days, less than equal to 3 days. Then yes,
Piyush, I think the spelling for big puzzle is wrong with the formula, so it will not take.
yeah. Thank you for notifying. क्या है big bazaar का spelling? Here. हाँ, okay. Else no. Okay. Does anyone has any doubt on the formula? I have written this formula in a very simple way. However, you can also make it little smaller, but it will be little complex. What I mean to say that this particular two condition can be written in one under or. But yeah, but you get comfortable with this, then we'll see how to. And के अंदर और डाल सकते हैं we can. Someone is joining. Okay. Alright. Now I'll just drag this formula. It is giving me yes or no based on the formula. Anyone has any question on the formula? So this is for my first KPI. Okay. Now you will first do this KPI using a uh, using a pivot table. Okay, let me first create a pivot table. See, if you have a small dashboard, I mean there are not a lot of KPI and the data size is small, then pivot table is an easiest way. Okay, what I need is team था ना? Team KPI met. I'll put it in column. I know we want yes and no, and then I will take any say product ID का count. बाकी सब ये से क्या? Bear with me for a minute. सर इधर कुछ तो लफड़ा हो गया. Network is I use network days. I'll explain. Okay. It is actually इनमें ही हो रहा है. ठीक है. See, everyone is comfortable with, everyone is aware of the network days, right? So what it does is basically it excludes the weekends. Okay, when we use network days to find the difference, it will exclude the weekends, and we can also specify the holidays and everything. It is more accurate way to basically find a difference of the days, because usually the working days doesn't involve the weekend. Okay, so I've used network days. Even if you do just a simple minus, it will give you the number, but it will not exclude the weekends. Okay. Now what I did was, second thing I did, I created a pivot table. In pivot table, I have put my KPI met column in the column section, and I'm taking a count of product ID. Okay. Now let's see how to find an KPI. Now very first thing I want to know, I want to find a KPI for. We also need month. Okay, here we also need month. Okay. Now we'll use a get pivot. Get pivot is a very simpler way. There are more complex way. We'll also see in last session someone asked about the countif, like what is the use of the countif and countifs, and what is the other use case. So we'll also see this using countifs. Okay, but first we will do using simpler way, that is get pivot equal to, yes. Okay, divided by total. See, when we do get pivot, it automatically generates a formula. Okay. uh, so it is what we are doing, basically what we want is,
Piyush, sorry to disturb you.
yeah,
Can you show me again?
yeah. So what we need here for this KPI, what we need the total invoice which we have got processed in 5 days divided by total invoice. Okay. So the yes wala jo hai, these are the total invoice which got processed in 5 days, right? This is what the
Mm.
formula we have written. So yes divided by
Mm.
total we want. Okay.
Yes,
And
yes,
month
yes.
wise. Okay. So for very first thing what I have done is I've created a pivot with the required dimensions based on my KPI. So what I need
Mm.
here for my KPI is my team and the month. Okay, because my the KPI score I want month wise. Hence my pivot needs to be created with month. Now if I just use a get pivot gets generated automatically when you link it with the pivot. Okay, I'll do equal to, and I'll first select. Now see, it is generating in get pivot. It is giving me the
Mm.
selection. So I've selected Amazon का month June and KPM at yes. Okay, based on my selection. अगर मैं यहाँ पे select करता तो it will give me month July. So whatever selection that you
Mm.
do. Okay. Okay. So now this is my numerator. Okay. I also need a denominator, right? My denominator will be my total.
Total.
Okay. My total. So you will see get pivot में ये part missing है. This part is missing because I don't want that ये वाला. I need a denominator. Okay. So now this is giving me 89%. Now इसमें, now I want to drag this on the right side, right? because I mean, I don't want to write formula for each and every cell. You can do it by using, I mean, by this June ka month, you will link it with the upper cell, and you will only freeze row. And now if I drag it here, now it is giving me month wise score. Overall score में I want to exclude month. Overall will be total सारे 6 months का. Okay. Now here it will be. Okay, now one thing I needed my pivot is subtotal. अच्छा, I already have a. अच्छा, I already have a subtotal here. So this is okay. Now this is my total and this is the month wise number, right? So for my overall I need to use this, and for my individual I need to use this. So for overall I will use my numerator divided by denominator. Okay. Now here you don't have to change anything. Any questions on this? This is a simpler way to do this. I mean, but only thing it does is it makes your dashboard very heavy because you need to create pivot table for each and every KPI. Okay. Yashvi, any questions? Anyone has any question? Can we move forward? Okay, so I mean, the people who joined late, I'll just quickly summarize. Okay, what we are doing is we are doing a KPI dashboard. Okay, very first KPI is invoice processed in 5 days. Okay, so this is my data. Okay, this is my data of an operations data. There are 5 teams involved: Amazon, DMart, Big Bazaar, and GeoMart. These are the team members. Now, very first thing I need to find is key how many within how many days the invoice got processed. For this, I have an invoice date and the process date. Now, this is the formula I used to find the difference of days, that is network days, and this is giving me the difference of days, like 5 days. And this is my if condition. For Amazon, the KPI is less than 5 days. For DMart is again the KPI is less than 5 days. For Big Bazaar, the KPI is less than equal to 3 days. For GeoMart is KPI is less than 3 days. So wherever it is meeting the KPI, it is giving yes. Wherever it is not meeting the KPI, it is giving no. All I want to calculate my KPI is my numerator, that is the invoices which got processed within the timeline, divided by total number of invoice. Okay, so this is what it is telling me, that I out of total invoice 89% of the invoice got processed within the KPI. Okay, now let's move to the next KPI. Invoice greater than 500 processed in. Now इसमें there is one more condition added, that is invoice value. The invoice value which has greater than 500, so basically high dollar values, has to be processed in 3 days. So again, a similar way we will do. We'll have to create one more KPI, one more field here, KPI bet. Bet. Now the condition will be equal to if and and Amazon Amazon and processing less than equal to P and invoice value is greater than equal to 500. So there will be three condition under my end. Okay, these are the three condition. एक तो वो it has to be Amazon less than equal to 3 and 500. But here there is a trick. I mean there is a our denominator will be little different. I will show you. Yes, else I copy this. I don't have to write it again. Yes. Um, Geomart. For the other two, it is 2 days. Else, yeah, last Big Bazaar, no? चलेगा. Big Bazaar. Okay. Else, no. Now there is one more condition for my denominator. I want to see for this we need to include only the invoices which are greater than 500. Okay, less than 500 will not come in picture. Equal to if invoice value is less than इसमें भी we'll have to put the हाँ less than 500 and NA.
For the condition of Big Bazaar, the value is true. We've kept only low. Should there not be a yes?
1 minute. Your voice is a bit low. I'm not able to hear properly.
No
I
audible now?
think you have missed yes in the formula, Piyush,
अच्छा
for a condition. I think. I just checked maybe.
हाँ
Like for GeoMart,
अच्छा हाँ
For Big Bazaar again.
everyone understood why I have added this. See, because this KPI will only consider, we want to consider only the invoices which are greater than 500, right? Other than the invoices which are less than 500, we don't want to consider them only. So I'm directly putting them under NA. Okay, so not applicable only. Less than 500, not applicable only. This particular KPI is only applicable for the invoices which are greater than equal to 500. है ही नहीं क्या?
Why it is showing no? Did you mention anywhere no?
See, this invoice is greater than 500, but it is not processed in 3 days, na?
Yes.
That's why it is showing no. यार डीमार्ट का कंडीशन क्या है? डीमार्ट का कंडीशन इज it should be processed in 3 days. Okay, then yes. See, the invoice value is greater than 500, but it is processed in 4 days. Okay, yeah, formula is correct. Uh, we are done with the formula. Now we will see how to calculate a KPI. Okay, so where is our pivot? We'll name this as pivot table. See, one thing what I can do, I can just copy this. If I don't want to do it again, I'll just copy this and then need to extend the range because we have added a extra column. I'll just select it here. I'll go to pivot. I'll change data source, and I'll just extend the range of this. We don't have to put everything again. Okay. Now here for KPI meet, I'll remove this and I'll put the new KPI that we created. KPI. Here we will have three options. Okay, NA, yes or no. Now our denominator will not be total. Our denominator will be no, no, will be addition of yes or no. अरे हाँ ये कैसे करेंगे? Just 1 minute, bear with me. अच्छा, I need to create one more KPI. Yeah. Okay, let me try this way. Let's try equal to pivot yes divided by this minus this. I have 20% here. Okay, I'll not make it complex 1 minute. I'll just write a one more condition here. Okay, if is equal to or this is equal to yes or this is equal to no, then 1 and 0. Okay. Just bear with me. I will explain what I'm doing. Here the challenge is the denominator. Denominator is not very straightforward. Okay. So now we need to do, अच्छा इसका range. हाँ. See, this is my denominator. I have to create a separate pivot for this because I'm using a get pivot. It's little challenging to find a denominator, from this because I need to do the addition of this या फिर इसको इसमें से minus करना है. That is getting too complicated. What I did is, I wrote a formula. Okay, अगर because we want to exclude NA. अगर yes or no है, then one. Take the count as one. Else keep it zero. Okay, and I created a separate pivot for my denominator. This one. Now we'll see how to calculate KPI with this. Equal to, this will be yes divided by, and now this is giving me 21%. All I need to do is, I'll just drag this here, and overall may, I don't want month ka condition. I'll just copy this get pivot, entire card pivot. I'll do F2 and paste it here. I'll just remove the month ka criteria only. Does anyone has any question on this? This is little bit complicated. I'll just explain once again. What we want to do is we want to find out invoice value greater than 500. The KPI is invoice value greater than 500 processed in 3 days. Okay. Now the very first thing what we did was, we wrote a formula. Now in this we need to completely, the invoices which are less than 500 are not applicable only. Okay, that are out of our calculation. Okay, only invoices which are greater than equal to 500 will be considered. So we wrote a formula whether, to identify how many invoices are meeting the criteria or not. Okay, now for my denominator I created a separate, column. Basically this is, just if the yes, if it is yes or no, then it is giving me 1, else 0. Okay, then I created two pivots. One is to find out yes. Okay, and one is my denominator ka pivot. So this is the numerator. I'll just mention KPI 1. Tell me with the spelling. Numerator का spelling क्या है? QR. Okay.
Uh, Piyush, I have one question here.
Yeah, yeah. Tell me.
Okay, so see what we have done. We have taken the pivot second just to get the denominator, right?
हाँ.
Okay, so instead of doing that, is it possible? I don't know. But is it any possibility to use the calculated field in the first pivot itself by adding yes and no and yes both?
Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, yeah. Very. I think we can do that. Yeah. No, no, no. 1 minute. These are,
Yeah, it's
no,
just
no,
a
no, no,
thought.
no,
I just
no, no. It's a good. Yeah, I really like the question, but we'll not able to do that because this no and yes are not different fields. No, these are coming from one column. No, see,
okay.
yeah.
Understood.
When we do a calculated field, we require two different fields
Two
for that.
different fields. Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
but
understood.
yeah,
Thank you, thank
but
you.
good question. Yeah. Okay, so this is how we calculate the second one. So now third one, that is invoice with profit greater than 40%. Again, we need to add one more formula field here, KPI 3. Now for Amazon and DMart it's 40%, and for Big Bazaar and GeoMart it is 60%. Equal to I have done here. Acha. Now I have two different fields here, profit and invoice value. Now to calculate my profit percentage, the formula will be very simple. It is profit divided by invoice value. Okay. I'll change this to percentage. This will be my profit percentage. Now again, if condition I need to write. Now I will write in a different way. Okay. This will be little complex, but I think it's important to understand. So what I'm going to do, see, because our Amazon and DMart are sharing a common KPI, I'll put them under one formula. I'll do and के अंदर I will do or नहीं डाला क्या equal to if and and के अंदर I will do or either it is Amazon or uh, am equal to Amazon or is equal to DMart and so now this or is my first condition for and. Okay, yeah, and के अंदर का first condition है which is or. The second condition for or and is 40% है ना, profit greater than equal to 0.4, it's 40%. Then yes, else I'll copy this जियो मार्ट एंड बिग बाजार. ये मार्ट में ये नहीं गया, बिग बाजार and 60%. Then yes, else no. Everyone understood? So see, this can be applied on the other KPI also, but this is little complex since I used the separate. See, the formula becomes very small. What we have done is, since these two are sharing the same KPI, the same percentage, I have put under the or. अगर वो डीमार्ट या फिर अमेजोन है then and profit is 40%, then yes. So this or is my first condition for and. Okay, anyone has any question on this to understand the formula? See, hence it is important, important to get very much well versed with the if condition. Hence, I was stressing that if condition is very important. If and or, I mean, you need to be very comfortable with these formulas. Anyone has any question on this? Why I wrote or under and this can be applied for all this. See, these formulas are so big, we can make it small by customizing
Yeah.
it. Okay.
Piyush, I have a question. If this or could be added if you have similar type of condition, the earlier equation when we wrote, we wrote four different
Yeah,
ones,
yeah, yeah.
and two are of the same type of parameters
Right, right.
needed. We could
We
have
could
clubbed
use.
them also like, yeah.
Yes, yes, we could have done that, but
Good, good.
this because it was little complex, I used the on the simpler one. But yeah, we can do that
Okay,
for
good.
those also.
Thanks.
Okay,
Thanks.
I'll just drag the formula. Uh, Now, again, what we need to do is create a pivot table.
Hmm.
See, that is the problem. Using a pivot table, you have to create multiple pivot for each and every KPI. You know, now it is, if it is a, I mean, small dashboard. I mean, there are no the data size is not very large and KPIs are less. Then it is good to use pivot table. Otherwise, we need to use a different method. I'll just cover in a brief what different method is. But for now, let's complete this. Array, I'll copy this one. Okay, yes, table change source. KPI 3 met. I'll just remove this and I'll put KPI 3 met. Okay. Now this is going to be simple. Maybe we do not require a separate pivot for that because this is going to be ES divided by total and we already have a grand total here. This will be similar to the first one. Okay. Pivot table ES divided by total. Okay. 35%. I just link my June, June. For overall के लिए I'll remove the month का criteria. So I'll just copy this entire. I'll not copy the equal to. I'll just copy it till here. I'll do F2, and I'll remove the month का criteria because we want an overall score. Okay. So our KPI is done. Now we just need to drag these formulas. You cannot simply drag is because you need to change this Amazon. This can also be linked. Okay, but will not keep it will not link. This can also be linked with this. But if you are still not able to drag because there are three rows for each. Okay. So I'll just simply copy this one to this and this. Any you can directly copy here. This problem है क्या? We have not मंथ को ये नहीं किया अपने इसमें मंथ को फ्रीज नहीं किया क्या प्रॉब्लम है यार I don't know. So my KPI dashboard is ready. Now how much time we have left? 2 Okay. Now the other way would be like suppose if you do not want to use a pivot table. Okay. Uh, Now the other way is countif. Okay, we can also do this using countif. I will not write countif for everything. I'll just show you an example for the first one, how to do it using countif. I mean, if you do not have to create the pivot and use the get pivot, that is little complicated, but an optimized way to do an KPI dashboard, because you do not have to create pivot table, and the dashboard will not be very heavy. Okay. Now, our first KPI is invoice processed in 5 days.
Piyush, I'm not able to see your screen. Is it? I don't know. The rest all are able to see your screen. I'm not able to see. See.
No, no, we can't see.
You can see now. I'll just share it again.
Yeah. Now I can.
Acha.
Yes. Not better.
So everyone is
Thank.
comfortable with this. Now, whatever I have learned, I mean, till here everyone understood, right, what we did.
Yes.
All right. Now let's see, how to do this using a countif. Okay, countif function. I'll just write a countifs basically. Now my numerator is basically I want, yeah, total number of invoice which are processed in less than equal to 5 days. I will do countifs. The first criteria range is this, and my criteria is Amazon. This is my criteria range, and my criteria is Amazon. My second criteria range is month. Month should be June. My third criteria, since it's a numerator, my third criteria is this one, and the criteria should be yes. Okay, divided by. I'll simply copy this. I'll just remove the third criteria. So यार, एक मिनट किधर गया? नहीं, कुछ तो प्रॉब्लम हुआ. So currently it is giving me numerator. Okay, now if you want to compare this 380. Okay, same thing we have derived using countif function. So we are counting Amazon का कितना वैल्यू है, उसमें से जून का कितना वैल्यू है और कितने में यस है. Okay, that is what we are counting here. Now the denominator will be simple. I mean, I don't know why it is not taking. I think till here now. Just need all the values. Okay, from here. अच्छा हाँ. Anyone has any question on this? So same thing we did. We do not have to create a separate pivot. We just simply write a countif function. Uh, and now, like because we are using values here, like yes or no. If we use one or zero, then we have to use some ifs. Okay. We are using countif because we have values here. We have used yes or no. Suppose a formula में अगर one or zero हम लोग use करते थे, then we need to sum the value. We don't want to count. Okay. So depend upon how you are basically designing your data set, you can decide whether to use countif or sumif. Now I will drag this. I will just simply freeze all my selections. I will have to. सब हो गया क्या? Yes. Now it should give the same score. See. Now for overall के लिए it will not have a month criteria. Basically, you can simply copy this. I can remove month का किधर गया? M किधर है M इसमें? हाँ इधर है overall. Everyone is getting right what I'm doing. For overall score we don't want month, so I just removed the month ka criteria from both the formulas. Okay, I can rewrite the formula, but again it's a waste of time. You can just simply copy and modify the formula. That is the best practice you need to follow. Okay, similarly you can
So
add.
overall, can we not use the average of from June to December?
No, average will not be correct. Average is not the right way. You will
Not the
get
right.
sometime you will get the same answer, but average is not the right way to do it. You have to basically you know make you same answer, but at times it will be
Mhm.
different.
Okay.
Okay. Now let's do conditional formatting. Okay. Now the target is 90%. Okay, the first target is 90%. What we want is, agar if it is meeting the target, then it should be, we'll use an arrow. We'll use an icon set. This we'll use. Now I'll go to manage rules, edit rules. So when value is greater than equal to number here 0.9, or say less than 0.9, 1.6 or 7. Okay. Now if I apply, simply need to paste the format. I'll repeat this step. Okay, I'll just remove this again. um, I'll do clear skin. Okay, now what we want, target is 90%. For this KPI the target is 90%. If my score is greater than 90%, then it should show up one upward arrow in green. If it is less than uh, 90 but greater than 70%, then it should show yellow arrow. Otherwise downward arrow in red color. So simply we'll select icon set. Here we have various options available. I'll choose the first one. Okay, now I'll just modify this based on my requirement. I'll go to manage rule. I'll do the edit rule. My first criteria for green is I'll change this to, percentage doesn't work correct sometimes, so I'll just change this to number greater than equal to 0.9 should be green. If it is less than 9 and greater than equal to 70%, then, and if it is less than 70, then red. Okay, and if I just simply copy and paste the format, I just did a control C. I selected the entire cell and then right click, paste special, format, and it has applied format to all cells. Okay, now this you cannot apply directly to all cells downward because our scores are different, like target is different. So accordingly you need to, you know, create this arrow. Any questions here?
So,
I'll save this.
Piyush, in the form conditions that you put for the arrows, uh, the zero point 0.7 is turning to zero uh, automatically.
0.7.
In like if you go into the condition,
Acha, there is something wrong. No, now it is correct.
yeah,
Okay, but this is how it needs to be done. I mean, you can apply, there are a lot of formulas available. If you just, and there is one more, and if you want to, don't want to show the value, just want to show the arrow sign, you can do that. You know, here we have an option, show only icon. It will just show the icons, it will just remove all the values. uh, yeah, I'll not apply, I know, same thing you need to apply. I'll not do it for all the cell, but this is what you need to do. And you can, maybe I'll share this workbook, you can try doing it from your end. I prefer doing it using countif, you know, because it really saves a lot of what do you say, weight. I mean, your basically dashboard will not be that heavy if you use just countif and sum if formula. But yeah, get pivot is the easy one. Um, it's very simple to use get pivot. But all you need to do is create separate pivot for each and every KPI. Okay. Um, we have half an hour, so we'll also cover any questions on this. See, I am recording the session, but I am not going to share the recording. I will definitely be sharing this workbook with you all. So by now, you should reach a point that you are able to make out what is done using the formula. You just referring the formula. Okay, if you just see the formula, you should know what is happening here and how it is done. And recording is really not required. But in case if someone is not able to follow, not able to understand what is done here, they can just ping me on WhatsApp and I'll share the recording. Okay, fair enough. So this is how the KPI reporting is done. The KPI will be different, but this is the approach. You need to understand the KPI, and at some point you need to reach a, once you gain the good business understanding, you can help your business defining the appropriate KPIs. Okay, basically to measure the performance, the overall operations. Now we'll move to the next topic, that is quality dashboard. Okay, uh, so let's understand the scenario here. Okay, so same team, Amazon is managed by Amit. अरे, इन लोगों का नाम कैसे, अच्छा हाँ, हाइड है क्या? हाँ. Now there is a separate team, understand the scenario first, and there is a separate team which is quality team, who are responsible to, do the audit. Okay, so Amit is managing Amazon ka desk, Vijay is managing Big Bazaar, Ajay is managing DMart, and we have Rakesh, fourth person, who is managing GeoMart. Okay, and these are the monthly scores. Now, usually quality में सब audit नहीं होता है, so they will do a sample audit. Okay, now for June, अमित का 20 items audit हुआ. Okay, 20 items has been audited, and there are various checkpoints. Okay, to audit. Usually, let's say invoice processing, में there will be different checkpoints. The checkpoints could be like it is an whether the indexing is done accurately, map to correct sales account, all line item captured, and map to correct sales account. Okay, so these are the checkpoints which an auditor will check and accordingly will give the scores. Okay, now a best approach to do a quality reporting is based on the weightage score. Okay, because there could be some checkpoints which are more severe than the other. Okay, in this example, accurate indexing का weightage है 20%. Okay, मैप टू करेक्ट सेल्स अकाउंट का 20% है, ऑल लाइन आइटम कैप्चर का 50%. दिस इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट चेक पॉइंट, हेंस द वेटेज इज 50%. एंड मैप टू करेक्ट सेल्स अकाउंट is 10%. This is not very important, and it is giving a hence we have given a weightage of 10% for this. Okay, now we'll see how to calculate an score. Let me just create an tab here. Everyone understood the scenario and the criteria that we discussed? Score 1. Based on the weightage, we'll first identify the score, and then we'll identify the overall uh, quality percentage. Now these are my checkpoints. Okay, whenever a quality person audits the invoices, they will look for these items. Okay, they will see whether the indexing is done accurately. If yes, then whether it is mapped to correct sales account, all line items captured, mapped to correct sales account, and everything. So these are the checkpoints, and then weightage is given. Okay, now let's say for June, 20 items were audited. Now auditor identified that सबका 20 का 20 were proper. Okay, indexing, and then even the second checkpoint is good. All 20 are correct. Third is good. All good. So all are correct. Ideally, it should be 100%. Okay. Now we need to find the score. Score will be accurate indexing का जो weightage है multiplied by weightage for accurate index. Similarly, now this is giving me a score of 4. Okay, this is my total uh, E2 multiplied by weightage. Similarly, we will do for score 2. This multiplied by 20%. Similarly, we'll do for score 3. This multiplied by 50%. So it has a highest weightage. This multiplied by now quality score. So quality score will be equal to sum of my scores. I'll just create one more column here. Weighted score. It will be sum of these four items. Okay. My quality score will be this divided by my total items audited. Okay, and this will be in percentage. So now, like since everything like there were no errors, it is giving me 100%. Now let's assume for July also 20 items were audited. Okay, and in accurate indexing 10 items, there were errors in 10 items. Okay, and 10 items were correct. Now if you just drag the formula, it's giving me a quality score of 70%. Okay, now see, I'll tell you how the weightage works. Okay, so for accurate indexing the weightage is 20%. Okay, now the same thing, if we do, let's say all 20 were correct here, and all line item it has a weightage of 50%, which is higher weightage. Now here there were 10 items were incorrect. Now the quality score will be even lesser. It's not taking proper here. uh, it's R5. Yeah, I just so dragging, freeze it first. Simply drag. This is fine. This is also fine. Let's do this once again. Now, in the first scenario, we saw that everything is correct and the score is 100%. And the second scenario, let's say Amit made an error in the month of July. In this particular, there were 10 errors. Okay. Now the quality score is 90%. Okay. Here it is 90%. Now this particular has a weightage of 20%. Now in the month of August, Amit made, this is good. 20 all 20 were correct. 20 were audited. But this in this particular checkpoint, Amit made an error of 10. Here the weightage is high. Now if you see score, it will be even lesser because the weightage was high. See, the score is 75%. Because not every checkpoint has an equal weightage. There could be some checkpoints which are very severe for the business, which will have a higher weightage. Now this is what happened here. Even though everything is, see, the total of this is same. Okay. uh, this is a sum of 20, 3, 4, 5, 100, 8, 90. But still the quality percentage is less because the one which has a higher weightage, there are errors. Okay, so this is how the quality dashboard, quality is being calculated. Any questions? So see, generally not every company prefer doing, they will do a simple, simple, find the call, uh, simple quality score just by dividing the number of error divided by total line item. But that is not the correct way, because uh, there could be some, and it depends upon the checkpoints. How many checkpoints do you have? Some checkpoints could be very small one, which will not have a major impact on the business, but some checkpoints will have higher weightage, and it depend upon the severity of the checkpoint. So this is the right way to do a quality report. Okay, now quickly we'll create a quality. Anyone has any question on this? This is how we calculated the score. Okay, Now I'll just do a random between 15 to, यहाँ पे तो 20 रहेगा. We are assuming 20 uh, constant items which gets audited. I'll do a random between 15 to 20 here. Now is this is my, अब इसमें point पे भी आ रहा है. ठीक है. ठीक है. But this is I'm just creating a dummy values here, but this is giving me an overall score. Now quickly create a dashboard. We'll create a dashboard. Now when you do a quality reporting, you need to present it in a better way so that it is easily understood by the business. Okay, we'll create a simple dashboard. Okay, now very first thing I want to know, मेरा team wise का overall performance क्या है. Okay, what is the overall performance of my team? I'll just do the remove duplicates. Okay, total. So for overall, I need to do a. Can anyone suggest what formula I can use to find the total weightage score? Can anyone try? What I want is I want to find the total weightage for Amazon. Okay, I want to find this total weightage score for Amazon. Okay, we'll use
Sum if.
yeah, sum if we'll
Yeah. Yeah.
use sum if. Okay, range will be this, comma, criteria will be this, and the sum range will be total weightage score divided by again sum if. I'll copy. I'll not write everything again. All we need to do is change the sum range ka. This will be by column D, total item audited. Now I'll just create a simple. So this is my. ये to ये random between change होता रहेगा. Okay. So now this is giving me my. So what I did is, team का total find करके we did total weightage score divided by total number of audited. Okay. So this is giving me the team wise. Yeah. Now I'll just create a bar chart. See, you cannot create a pie chart here because even though it is percentage, because for pie chart the total should be 100. Your pie should be 100. Here that is not the scope. I can use bar chart. We can use pivot also in simpler way. If someone is accustomed to use the numbers, I mean the tabular format, you can put labels here. Okay. Now second thing I want is uh, acha, let's individual. Okay, individuals total score. Okay, I want same chart but for the team members. Okay, now we'll first do. So again, this is going to be the same thing, but we'll do it. I'll remove duplicate. Again, have to write sum if. Yeah, criteria will be this, and my sum range will be my total weightage score. Okay, now divided by, I'll simply copy this. For m, I will change to d. D is my total. So this is giving me the total. Again, we'll create a small uh, again, bar chart only we can create. Okay. Now one more thing I want here. I also want to see the trend, individual team member ka monthly trend I want to see. Okay, so we'll create a drop down, but instead of drop down, I'll do a validation. Okay, we learned validation, right? In our last, in our Excel ka session, we'll use validation here. Now let me just copy. Remove duplicate. Okay, so I'll create a validation here. Uh, List, and I want these values. Okay, I'll just highlight this so that it is visible. Uh, okay, now let's see how to do that. Now this is going to be a little tricky, but bear with me. I want month. See, again, there are multiple ways. You can use. See, you can create a pivot. You can create a pivot and do that. But I'll use VLOOKUP. Okay, I'll use VLOOKUP to find this. Now, very first thing for VLOOKUP, we need a unique key. Okay, we need to in our data set. We do not have any unique value here. Okay, we need to create a key here. I'll create a key combination of name and month. I created a key. Now this is giving me a key of combination of name and month. Now here I want to find so I already have a scores here, monthly scores here. Now all I need to do is simply do the VLOOKUP and find this score. Okay, month wise. What I'll do, I'll write a VLOOKUP formula. Okay, my lookup value will be an combination of my validation value, that is, I'll do concatenate. Here I'm selecting the validation, right, which is name, comma, my month. This will be completely freeze. This will be only row, comma, my table array, my score is in 15. I'll freeze this, comma 0. अच्छा हाँ, selected here. Yeah. Is anyone has any doubt why I did concatenation here? So I've used see. I need a see. What we did is we created a key here, right, with a combination of for my VLOOKUP. Uh,
Hmm.
okay, I did a created a key with a combination of name and month. Now here I need a lookup value, right, with the same combination. What concatenation does is it will basically combine two values. Okay, so it is combining this value that we select here with my month ka value, which is here. Okay, and then I drag it. When I drag it, it takes the month from the upper column. Now if we create a line chart, insert line chart. Okay, and I'll place it, let's say here. So again, there are multiple ways to do things. You can. I'm using a data validation. There is another. This is one more use case for the data validation. Okay, so you'll see that it is changing. Our chart is okay. Does anyone have any question on this? Quality dashboard. I mean, everyone understood. I know why we created a weighted average and everything, right? See, usually quality dashboard is presented in in a dashboard format. You know, I mean, again, it's completely depend upon you how you want to present it and how the business want to see it. It can be simpler tabular format using pivots, but yeah, graphical represent is the best way to show. Okay, I think that's it for today. I'll